I read it on my Kindle. Hey guys, it's Jenny and I am back with a book review. Woo! Don't know what that was. Don't know, let's just go with it, okay? This time it is going to be on Noughts and Crosses by Malorie Blackman, and it is book 1 in the Noughts and Crosses series. That's what it's called, I think. Yeah. This book is book 1 in a trilogy, but it is focused on an alternate reality where the two types of people in society are noughts and crosses. The crosses are dark-skinned people and they are the leading class in society. All dark-skinned people are called crosses, and it is because they are closer to God. Their skin makes them better. And noughts are all light-skinned people, and they were slaves to the crosses only recently. And although they're not technically slaves now, they are pretty much the lowest class in society and they are looked down on as dirt. So not much has changed, but they're not technically slaves at the moment when the book starts. The book is focused around Seffi, Persephone Hadley, who is a cross, and she comes from a very wealthy family. Her father is in government. And Callum, who is a nought. Now the reason Seffi and Callum are so close is because Callum's mum used to work for the Hadley family when they were little. So Callum and Seffi grew up together, and although the families don't talk anymore, Callum and Seffi still are best friends and they meet in secret even though their parents don't want them to. So the main crux of this book is it's focused on racism, and it's flipping it on its head and just showing kind of how illogical racism is, because it's focused on the hardships between Seffi and Callum, and when Callum has to start school in a cross school and how hard it is for him to be the only nought in the school. And Seffi and Callum trying to have their friendship in a public forum and just realising that they can't, no matter how hard they want to break down the boundaries that of like these racist beliefs. It's not going to happen, and it's made worse when Seffi almost gets caught in a bombing that was by a nought militia, terrorists effectively. It separates Seffi and Callum even more, and although they're friends, there is a relationship blossoming there, and it's really focused on how hard it is for the two of them to be friends in a society that won't accept noughts and crosses being friends or even just talking to each other civilly. I enjoyed this book. I think it was really good how Malorie Blackman tried to shed a light on how stupid racism is, and flipping it on its head, putting, as she called them, light-skinned people in the inferior position and the dark-skinned people in a superior position. And I think she described it really well. There's so many pressures on both the families trying to come to terms. Their relationship just won't work in that society, even though they've grown up together, and it's so hard. And it's a first person narrative. It alternates between Seffi and Callum every chapter, and you're not seeing it as it's playing out. You're seeing their emotions and how they're coping with it and what they think of the situation. And it's really hard sometimes to read because you're like, it's so heartbreaking the way that they feel. And I think that was done really, really well. It took a small bit of time for me to get into it originally, but when I did, I thought it was really good. And there's a lot of complex stuff going on in there. Sometimes I was a bit like, are you just throwing this in for the sake of it? But in the end, I think it all added to the story and it was done quite well. I haven't read the rest of the series yet. I've heard though that book 1 is the best out of the whole series, and to be fair, she'd have to put a lot into the next 2 books for it to top the first one. So I don't know if I'll continue on with the series, but I definitely thought it was good. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 myself. I'd really like some opinions on this. I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this. So if you have read Noughts and Crosses by Malorie Blackman, then please comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. like I said, there's a lot of people going, oh, it's 5 out of 5, it's brilliant. I feel that it was lacking in some areas. Like I said, sometimes I was like, oh, you're just throwing a lot into it, and I did find it a small bit hard to get into. But other than that, I thought it was really good, and it's a really touchy subject to go into and to broach. So fair play to Malorie Blackman. Like, this book is a good few years old, so it's not like it just came out, but still definitely worth reading, and definitely a series that I was really curious to read. So yeah, that is it. That is Noughts and Crosses by Malorie Blackman, book 1 in the Noughts and Crosses series. So that is it. Like I said, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.